Yay.
Greetings and welcome to the 2020 Helen Hayes Awards virtual celebration. Thank you for joining with us here tonight from wherever you are.
And now that I am on time and didn't Zoom bomb this one, in addition to the nominees here in this virtual room, we have a community room filled with friends, family, colleagues, and the greater theater community that wanted to be present and support these nominees at this time. Let's get a look at our friends and colleagues waving.
Oh my God.
Yay. Hi. Woo. Lots and lots. This unprecedented time has us all looking to connect in different ways. I'm going to introduce Amy Austin, the president and CEO of Theater Washington, who would like to share a greeting and a message to the community.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amy Austin, she, hers, and welcome to the Helen Hayes Awards that's being celebrated for the first time virtually. And it's during a time when the theater community is suffering from the loss of performance in theaters, loss of work, particularly for the independent theater makers, and loss of jobs in institutions. We also want to affirm the heightened need for equity, anti-racism, and anti-oppression in our theater institutions, and for our Black, Indigenous, and people of color artists and theater makers. We want to recognize the need for change and community change. We want to recognize that this need for change is not new, but long overdue. And the way forward is often not one that requires more time or learning, but simply trusting that those who are most harmed by oppression and inequity know exactly what changes need to happen. The time is now to simply listen and support each other in making the very changes that too many have been asking for too long. While we take the time to celebrate the collective and collaborative work of the community, we want to thank the foundations, individuals, and sponsors who have supported the Helen Hayes Awards. We are celebrating for the first time without someone really special. Our longtime chair, theater board chair and lover, Victor Shargai. We want to thank Victor's husband, Craig Pascal, and the family of Victor Shargai, Eric and Heidi Muskoff, Frida, Evan, and Sarah Zing Eisenberg, and Sandy Hoffman. We want to thank our community sponsor, Andrew R. Ammerman, our chairs, John and Meg Hauge, Monty Hoffman, the Share Fund, Vassar Browerman Group, Myrna Fawcett, Alan Savada and Will Stevenson, Michael Burke and Carl Smith, Scott Abelman and Debbie Schrager, and the host committee and board of directors of Theater Washington, the Office of Cable Television, Film, and Music in the District of Columbia, led by Director Angie Gates, and the District of Columbia Arts and Humanities Commission, led by Acting Executive Director Haran Sarika-Baran. Before we begin, we want to acknowledge that up until now, we have adjudicated and announced performance awards that were labeled for and limited to actors and actresses in a way that was exclusive and harmful to trans, gender nonconforming, and non-binary members of our community. So although this year's awards were still adjudicated through a binary lens, we are presenting them in a gender inclusive format. All 16 performance categories which were gendered will be integrated in all the performance awards. And we apologize for the pain we've caused up until this year. We invite you to learn more about how we arrived here and further details about our action moving forward at theaterwashington.org. Thank you.
Thank you, Amy. We would like to introduce our special guests here today, the nominees for Outstanding Lead Performer in a Play, Hayes category. We will do a brief round of introductions. Please tell us your name, your pronouns, the name of the show and the theater you're nominated for. And as a way to celebrate first-time nominees, mention if this is your first nomination. If this is not your first time being nominated, say one word to describe how you're feeling tonight. And when you're done, I'll pass it along to the next nominee.
Here, I'll demonstrate. Hello, my name is Frank Britton. My pronouns are he, him, his. I'm a co-presenter today, and I'm calling in from the land of the Piscataway peoples, now known as Washington, D.C. I'll pass it on to Naomi.
Hello, my name is Naomi Jacobson. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm a co-presenter, and I'm calling in from the land of the Piscataway people, now known as Silver Spring, Maryland. And again, when you're done, I'll pass it along to the next nominee. So first, I'll pass it along to Kelly Curran.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me here. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I never know if people can hear me. Kelly Curran, she, her, hers. I am calling in from a town called Slingerlands, New York, but understood to be the land of the Mohawk peoples. And this is my first nomination. I was nominated for my role as Clytemnestra in Shakespeare Theatre Company's The Oresteia, and I am honored and humbled and thrilled to be in this company. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Kelly. I'll pass it along to Harrison Bryan.
Hi, my name is Harrison Bryan, he, him, and I am here with my co-stars, Sabrina and Tabitha, from the show. They're very excited to come all this way to your Zoom screen. I couldn't have done this without them. We are from The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime at Roundhouse Theater, and we are all first-time nominees.
Yay! Thank you, Harrison. I'll pass it along to Shannon Dorsey, the beautiful Shannon Dorsey.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Shannon Dorsey here. I go by she, her, hers. I believe my land, the land that we are on is Anacostia. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared with that information. So I'm disrespecting anyone. I was nominated for my role in Blacks as Amani, and I've been nominated for Helen Hayes before, but this is my first time being nominated for a lead role.
Thank you, Shannon. I'll pass it along to Christian Khan.
Hi, my name's Christian Khan, he, him, his. Coming to you from the beautiful Brooklyn Prospect Lefferts Gardens. I was in Doubt, a Parable at Studio Theater. This is my first nomination. This is my second Negroni, and I'm very happy to be here with all of you.
Thank you, Christian. I'll pass it along to Catherine Eaton.
I think it's probably time you passed it on. I'm Catherine Eaton. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm calling from the land of the Wabanaki Confederacy, which is now known as Vermont. And I am nominated for my performance as May in Oil at Only Theater Center. And this is my first Helen Hayes Award nomination. So,
hey, thank you, Catherine. I'll pass it along to John Tracy Egan. Oh, is he not here? John?
No, he's not here.
Okay. Then I'll pass it along to Kashana Johnson.
Hello, everybody. I am Kashana Johnson, pronouns she, her, hers. I am nominated for my role as Paulina Sarpong in Schoolgirls or the African Mean Girls play. And this is my second time being nominated, but just like Shannon, first time in lead. And I feel honored to be here with you all.
Oh, thank you, Kashana. I'll pass it along to Zachary Fine.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Yeah?
Yeah.
Good. Hi, I'm Zach Fine. He, him, his. I am calling in from the land of the Lenape in Brooklyn, New York. And this is my second time nominated. And I was nominated for Love's Labor's Lost for playing Baroon. Yeah.
Thank you, Zachary. Our ninth nominee, Laura C. Harris, is unable to join us tonight as she just gave birth last night. So, oh, Laura, we wish her and her husband, Eric, well, and I'll pass it on to Allison Luff.
Hi, guys. I'm Allison. I go by she, hers. This is my first time being nominated, and I was Nell Gwen and Nell Gwen at the Folger Shakespeare Library.
Thank you, Allison. I'll pass it along to Gary Kai Fletcher.
Hey everyone, it's Gary Kai Fletcher, he, him, his. I'm calling to you from somewhere in the ether. This is my first time being nominated for a Helen Hayes Award for first stage's production of The Brothers' Size. I'm thrilled to be here. Really a tremendous honor.
Thank you, Gary Kai. Our final nominee, Sarah Marshall, is unable to join us, my dear friend Sarah, but we welcome her in spirit.
We also want to acknowledge our other partners in these projects. First Chair Interpretive Productions for providing American Sign Language interpretation, and Creative Video of Washington for providing technical audio and visual coordination. Welcome all.
Go, Frank.
I had to take that breath. I took that breath for a minute. Took that breath. At this time, we would like to highlight each nominee for Outstanding Lead Performer in a Play, Hayes. In preparing for these calls, we were able to collect highlights from the biographies of the nominees or tributes from a colleague, mentor, collaborator, whom the nominee recommended that spoke to their work this year.
For Kelly Curran's nominated performance in Shakespeare Theatre Company's production of The Oresteia, the playwright, Ellen McLaughlin, had this to say. They wrote, "It is a lucky playwright who has at the center of her play an actor who embodies her words with pith, humor, intelligence, and fire. But with Kelly, you also get her beauty, both inner and outer, and her warmth, which you in the audience didn't see much of in her searing and terrifying Clytemnestra, but which we backstage relied on through the challenging process of creating The Oresteia. She was the star of the show, and no mistake, but also a model of professionalism and kindness. She was the leader of the company. We'll always be grateful."
For Harrison Bryan's nominated performance in Roundhouse Theater's production of The Curious Incident in the Dog in the Nighttime, the co-director and projections designer Jared Mazzacci had this to say. They wrote, "As a multimedia creator, I only dream to have the privilege of working with such a dedicated acting ensemble that is ready to leap into the unknown and experiment in a world that blends digital and analog ideas. Harrison Bryan was not only the leader of our troupe, but he taught me and everyone else on the creative team what it means to be a storytelling maestro, driving the story and all of the design right along with him. His clarity of intentions, his passion to unearth the subtext, and his ability to experiment without any fear is not only admirable, but inspirational. Congratulations, dear friend. This is well worth all of those hard-fought days to figure out the depth and integrity of Christopher Boone living his best life."
Shannon Dorsey is nominated for Blacks at Woolly Mammoth Theatre Company, where Maria Manuela Goyanes is artistic director. Maria had this to say about Shannon. They wrote, "Blacks by Aziza Barnes is a play about a day in the life of 3 young Black women, and Shannon Dorsey brought the character of Imani to life with humor and heartache. Maneuvering the world while young, Black, queer, and female is treacherous. And through Shannon's masterful performance, we felt all of Imani's humanity, her highs, her lows, her joy, and her pain. Congrats, Shannon."
For Christian Kahn's performance in Studio Theater's production of Doubt, a Parable, the director, Matt Torn, this to say, "Christian is a brilliant actor, an amazing collaborator, and a true friend, depth of rigor and passion to every role he plays."
Hey, Frank, your
And
sound
his work on Doubt is no nuance he saw. Oh.
Let me take over this one just for a second. For Christian Kahn's nominated performance, Studio Theater's production of Doubt, a Parable, the director Matt Torney had this to say. They wrote, "Christian is a brilliant actor, an amazing collaborator, and a true friend who really knows how to show up for a production. He brings an impressive depth of rigor and passion to every role he plays, and his work on Doubt was no exception. I loved his work as Father Flynn, from the nuance he sought in every acting beat to the sensitivity with which he handled such delicate subject matter. A truly great performance." For Catherine Eaton's nominated performance in Only Theater Center's production of Oil, the director, Tracy Brigden, had this to say. They wrote, she's stunningly beautiful, insanely sexy, crazy smart, and wildly talented. Plus, she literally works 24/7 on a role once she's cast. If you haven't had the chance to work with her yet, run, don't walk. She's a director's dream in every way. And I am so grateful she took on the huge challenge of oil and created such an extraordinary and indelible performance. Congrats.
Can y'all hear me now? Copy?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay.
Yeah.
For John Tracy Egan's nominated performance in Only Theatre Center's production of Ken Ludwig's A Comedy of Tenors, only Senior Associate Artistic Director Jason King Jones had this to say. They wrote, "What I loved most about working with John Tracy Egan is how his sense of play intersects with his precision as a performer. When a comedic opportunity arose, John immediately had 3 ideas on how to mime it. Then he was willing to scrap the whole bit if the truth of the moment was at stake. Every day, John came to the room ready to work, and he made us all rise to the challenge. I learned so much working with John, and I am thrilled that the Helen Hayes judges have recognized his talent, his skill, and his brilliance in this role. Congrats."
Kashana Johnson is nominated tonight for Schoolgirls, or the African Mean Girls play at Roundhouse Theater. Her friend Zenzi Williams had this to say. They wrote, Kashana Johnson, a woman whose work reminds us all just how deep her well is. I have watched as she has poured herself into the art and still managed to come up full and open to receive audience and peers alike. She brought us to Ghana and back. Her performance brought us one step closer to bridging the gap between the diaspora and Africa. It is an honor to have watched, learned, and to have believed in the story she has told. Paulina lives because you breathed life into her. Congratulations.
For Zachary Fine's nominated performance in Folger Theatre's production of Love's Labor's Lost, the director, Vivian Benish, had this to say. They wrote, "Every director dreams of a leading actor who not only brings incredible craft and inspiration to their role, but also leads an entire ensemble with incredible spirit, generosity, and intelligence. Zach Fine was this director's dream come true. His Baroon in Our Love's Labor's Lost was full of Zach's own unparalleled gift for language, wit, bravery, endearing neurosis, and obsession with the science of comedy. Zach's willingness and ability to let Baroon be a clown was only matched by his willingness and ability to expose Baroon's heart. Congratulations on this well-earned recognition, my dear, dear collaborator."
About Laura C. Harris, nominated tonight for her performance in The Heiress at Arena Stage. The Washington Post said, Harris, seen recently at Studio Theater playing a cocky shark-like lobbyist in the Inside the Beltway drama Kings, pivots entirely as she embodies Catherine. The cowers and flinches are painful to watch, all the more so because as Harris listens and reacts, you see how nimble Catherine's mind is and how bruised she is. Harris is perpetually fascinating as Catherine rolls, often roughly, with the changes. Congratulations, Laura.
For Allison Luff's nominated performance in Nell Gwynn at the Folger Theatre, the director, Robert Richmond, had this to say. They wrote, "From the moment I met Allison Luff, I knew that she had what it took to bring Nell Gwynn to the Folger's production. She was funny, smart, bawdy, brave, generous, and hardworking. Allison brought to this important historical character her unique vulnerability and contagious sense of humor. Congrats."
For Gary Kai Fletcher's nominated performance in First Stage's production of The Brother Size, their dear friend and castmate, Tony Mena, had this to say. They wrote, Gary Kai Fletcher is a person whom I've had the honor to see grow throughout the years. From watching him in college rehearse over and over Lyon's monologue from Fences, to seeing him years later perform that same role professionally with strength, confidence, and vulnerability, to finally getting to share a stage with him on The Brother Size. Gary is an incredible human being that brings himself entirely when taking on a role, especially this one. Gary, my friend, my brother, thank you for sharing your gift with all of us.
Sarah Marshall is nominated tonight for Studio Theater's Doubt, a Parable. In an interview with her, Tom Avila of Metro Weekly wrote, "She has devoted her energy and heart and talent to helping to create DC's own thriving theater community. It's that passion and the fact that she would probably never consider herself a trailblazer that makes Marshall so completely unforgettable." Sarah is an adjunct lecturer in the Department of Performing Arts at Georgetown University, where she has taught for over 30 years and has performed extensively in the DC area, including Woolly Mammoth, where she is a company member. Sarah is a Helen Hayes Award recipient and has been nominated 23 times. Congrats, Sarah. Look at you. Ooh, thank you. Wow, all of the nominees displayed immense creativity and skill this year. It's now time to reveal the first recipients of the 2020 award, and let's see here. Pardon me, y'all. I'm actually holding my device while I'm opening the envelope. It keeps falling. And the first recipient for Outstanding Lead Performer in a Play, Hayes, is Allison Luff, Nell Gwynn, Folger Theater.
Oh, thank you. This is, oh God, this is like a scatterbrained person's worst nightmare to have to talk like this. But I talk to myself all the time, so I don't know what the big deal is now. But first of all, thank you for all of you involved with the Helen Hayes Awards for putting this together. Theater awards can be so strange sometimes, and this entire evening has just felt like a celebration and a coming together of the community, which I know we've all been like longing for. So thank you for that. I feel really lucky to be a part of the DC theater community now, and I really hope I can come back to Folger Shakespeare Library and do something else there, because that space is insanely inspiring. The cast I got to work with lifted me up every single night, and I just have to, obviously you can't play Nell Gwynn and not talk about Nell Gwynn, because she was a woman that just defied all standards that were thrust upon her, and she was unapologetically herself, and she just lived her life with wit and grit, and that's something that was so inspiring to me. And I think the reason that she thrived in what was a man's world at the time was because she was so steadfast in her womanhood and used her femininity as her superpower, and that was extremely inspiring to play every night and to play homage to Nell Gwynn and all the women like her that have paved the way for women like me. So, gosh, I don't even know what to say. But anyways, thank you guys very, very much. I definitely share this with all of you and celebrate all of your work and the cast that I got to play with every single night. And lastly, I will say, because I forgot to type him up, is I just want to say thank you to my dear friend Craig, who is like family to me and was my agent at the time, and who listened to me and encouraged me when I first read this script a year before I even knew that they were doing it at the Folger Theater. And I said, I have to play this part. I feel like I have so much to learn from her, because I did learn a lot from her. And also to my husband, who ran lines with me endlessly, and who thought through ideas with me, and who has a very loud laugh. I strongly suggest, if you don't have a friend, or if you have a friend or a partner with a loud laugh, it's a great asset to have when you're doing a comedy. Thank you, baby. And yeah, thank you guys for having me, and congratulations to all of you.
Yay! Woo! Yay! Congratulations, Allison. As was mentioned earlier, the move towards gender inclusive awards mean there are 2 recipients in this category. So now it's time to reveal who is the second recipient of this 2020 award. And the second recipient for Outstanding Lead Performer in a Play is Gary Kai Fletcher, the Brother Size First Stage. Woo!
Oh,
Oh,
Oh no! Oh no!
oh no.
oh no, no, no.
No, you
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You know, I didn't like want to, I should have written something down. I'm extremely long-winded, and it's because I'm like, a lot of times I'm trying to catch up with what I'm with like my thoughts, because they're going a mile a minute, and no more is that evident than right now. Thank you to Theater Washington and the Adjudication Committee for the Helen Hayes Award, for the honor for being nominated. This is tremendous. You heard. I don't know if you heard what Tony said. Like, when we were in school, it was a struggle. I left acting for a while, and to come back, and for First Stage to give me the opportunity to create a space for us to do this work. I'm truly grateful. Thank you to everyone who's been like a support system for me. Like, you know, a lot of time, like last year was a rough year, but to my friends who Devin, Aaron, Monty, Emily, who've, you know, just always been pushing me. I hesitate to name names because I know I'm going to leave somebody out. I love you all. To our maestro, to Jose Carrasquillo, our director, thank you for seeing me in this role. To say that you've been a gift would be an understatement. Over the past year, the things that you've done for me and helping me see myself not just as an actor, as an artist. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that I have you in my corner. To our entire creative team, you know, stage management, Katie Dooley, oh my gosh, Erica Scott, Yorgos, Billy, Moyenda, Sarah, thank you so much for creating the world that we got to play in every night. To my brothers, Tony Mena and Clayton Pelham Jr., I love you. I love you. I love you. This just really quick. That day was just a very weird day of our auditions. But one thing that I went to back-to-back callbacks, Mr. Tolentino wedding, which I heard was epic, and I was just surrounded by Black men who just loved on each other so much that day. It was a day that was void of any ego, any cutthroat sort of energy. We just celebrated so much, celebrated each one so much that day. And this it's for you. Thank you. Thank you. Rest in peace, Chadwick.
Yay.
Yay.
Congrats to all the nominees this year and the recipients. Thank you to everyone for joining with us virtually this year to celebrate the nominees for Lead Performer in a Play, Hayes. It has been our pleasure to be with you in this virtual space. Tune back in for the next awards category tonight, Outstanding Lead Performer in the Musical, Hayes, at 8 p.m.
Yay.
Thanks, everybody. I hope you had a good time. Thanks to all the nominees. Thank you for those lovely acceptance speeches. And we will see you on September 25th at 7 p.m. for the virtual event at the Helen Hayes Awards then. So thanks again. See you. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Guys, good night.
That's it.
Thank you.